Because it wasn't a concert that just took place in London. There was no performance. There was a dramatic change in hip-hop power. The best live performance this culture has ever witnessed was just given by Kendrick Lamar. It was referred to as the moment that made him untouchable by the local celebrities, fans, and streets. 10 standing ovations are in question. London was rocked by a 13-minute crowd chant, Kane an emotional conclusion that left mature men crying in the aisles. Did we also mention that Kendrick wasn't only there to perform? Drake was incorporated into the graphics. He arrived to change the hierarchy, and it was felt by all. It's not just a show, though. It has to do with Kendrick's alleged backstage warning. The unpublished verse is what nearly caused the entire theater to close. It also has to do with what he muttered into the microphone during the blackout. There was no concert here. A coronation took place. And you will never see Kendrick the same after hearing the truth about what actually happened. This wasn't a coincidence. There was no hype here. This was fate. Rumors circulated for months that Kendrick Lamar was preparing a major international project, something that would upend the entire power system of hip-hop. It all began when insiders started seeing Kendrick in strange locations. Brixton Private Studio. Dinner quietly with Soho and Skepta. His security is on edge as he walks through Camden late at night. Then followed the blood-red Dink posters that were strewn around London. Love, one night, one throne, one king, no name, no logo. They were perplexed. Fans, however, understood he's approaching. This isn't just music. This is a message. But why London? One user tweeted, Kendrick received the most criticism in London in the past, with UK critics calling him too American, too cerebral, and out of touch with the new wave. Some even claimed that he couldn't move a crowd in the UK the way Drake or Travis can, but Kendrick heard it all and waited until now. The build-up of global TNSO in the year. Kendrick started the Love Tour, which stands for Language of Violent Expression. Drake and industry hit just 3 days before the London show. Drake dropped a slick line on Instagram. We're practicing to change the world. In Tokyo, he performed a spoken-word freestyle about AI rap, but London insiders said it would be unlike anything he'd ever done before. Backstage whispers grew louder. Each city had a different setlist, stage design, and messages, as if he were speaking to each city's soul separately. In New York, he opened with Heart, Part 5. Fans immediately interpreted it as a jab at Kendrick, and the comment sections went crazy. Drake was disparaging him once more, saying that he was jealous and knew what was coming. However, it wasn't just Drake. UK radio hosts DJ Phantom and Maria Hill did a whole segment on Kendrick's lack of relevance in the UK. And one quote stuck. He's a poet. Sure, but can he give us a moment like Drake or the Keys? Kendrick's team remained silent, posting no tweets, but someone leaked a message from Kendrick's inner circle. Trust, he heard it. The night before the London show, wild, unverified rumors started circulating on Reddit, X, and Discord. Kendrick had brought in Jaws for a surprise verse. And there was a visual disc aimed directly at Drake. He would debut a new song that would forever alter the genre. But the most widespread rumor was that he was performing this show as if it were his last, as if he were leaving hip-hop until he made a point. This isn't just another tour stop. This is war. The thrones are being challenged tonight. London show night. The O2 Arena was surrounded by chaos as the STR's teeth aligned to get in twice. People were camped out since 3 a.m. Scalp tickets went as high as 2,800 when fans finally entered. They found no openers, no opening acts, no music, just a single spotlight on an empty mic for 40 minutes. The lights went out, and a deep voice said, "If I die tonight, you're not prepared for what came next." 9:12 p.m., the silence before the SLP after blasting. There was no introduction, no greeting, just Kendrick and DNA with a full gospel choir behind him. The fans went crazy, and that was only the beginning, because what happened next had grown men crying. UK rap veterans reposted every word he said, and the entire arena chanted one name: Kendrick. Kendrick, Kendrick, you're not ready for what came next. They advised me not to come here with this, and told me to keep it safe, Kendrick remarked, half smirking as he stood motionless, peering into the crowded O2 arena as if he were studying, the audience remembering them, into DNA with a live choir. However, I'm sick of being modest for people who don't value silence. The arena went dark once more after that. For 30 seconds, there were no lights or visuals, just the sound of a ticking clock coming from the speakers before the screen burst into 3 words written in blood-red ink. False Gods, a brand new, unreleased song that fans had never heard before, was Kendrick's first lie. The crowd was frozen. Phones went up. Tears fell. One lyric left jaws dropping, and they sang on couches for the algorithm. The beat of Kendrick's brutal new song was sinister and heavy, like thunder crackling over funeral drums, and the bars were deadly icing crowns made of likes, not bars. They prayed to charts, not God. But what's a stream to a stream of thought when the realist never had to beg for applause? During the performance, the screen behind Kendrick displayed a crown slowly melting, followed by a series of silhouettes of well-known rappers sitting on thrones made of credit cards, TikTok logos, and microphones. One of the silhouettes looked exactly like Drake, holding a corn-reasel-chain champagne glass before abruptly crumbling to ash. The fans didn't care. I rapped in pain for the ancestors. Was that a jab at Drake's podcast era or J. Cole's industry fatigue? The crowd went crazy when Kendrick and Dave, the surprise guest and first Twist, eviscerated Drake in front of 20,000 people. Then came the biggest shock of the night, a spotlight hitting the back of the stage, a staircase rising up from below, and who walked out? Dave, UK's lyrical assassin, the one who had been silent all year. It's Kendrick, not Kindle. I don't do light reads. They play on beats. I play on beliefs. As the song came to a close, Dave handed Kendrick a gold scroll and whispered something. Kendrick nodded, then turned to face the camera and said, "Are you ready for part 2? Fans didn't understand what that meant, but social media made cancer reactions. Live tweets, Reddit threads. False Gods is going to break Spotify if he drops it. Instagram comments on Kendrick's last post. Live tweets, this isn't a show. This is history. Was there another show? A joint album? Or worse?" And a final statement before Kendrick retired. Kendrick stepped to the center of the stage once more, just before intermission. The lights were dim. There was just one spotlight, and he stated, "I lost people to this industry. We owe this man our knees and our ears. After today, no one can touch him." Despite my best efforts, people continue to ask me whether I can make the headlines. He then lifted out his microphone and literally dropped it. But as soon as it touched the stage floor, the screen behind him flashed and the speakers let out a loud roar. After that thunderous Phase 1 message and a 20-minute intermission, fans went back to their seats expecting Kendrick to emerge from the stage floor. But instead, the lights came on, and he was already standing at the top of the arena, right in the nosebleed section, surrounded by 20,000 people who couldn't even breathe. However, it wasn't over, because the second half was when Kendrick's name was dropped. Someone who made headlines explode at 10:33 p.m. The entire O2 arena fell silent as he spoke. "They told me not to stand with y'all. They told me to perform from above, but I've never been above the people. So tonight, y'all are gone. Get the truth from down here." He then gestured to the enormous LED screen behind the main stage. which flickered to life. Static, then leaked. The audio, which was recorded in a private studio in Calbist, played throughout the arena. That was Drake. 100%. Another voice joins in. Maybe a UK label executive. He can't sell out here. The moments passed, the throne's safe. Then Drake again. He's too quiet. They don't get him. Everyone froze. In the clip, you hear a familiar voice. Raspy half laughs. Kendrick believes he's Moses. Man, what? We're out here. Pardon the streams. Kendrick was standing motionless in the nosebleeds, not smiling, without reacting. Since when does quiet become cowardice? He asked. He can drop verses. We drop in reactions. Boom, the crowd gasped. People screamed. Truth has sounded like a threat since when? The screen behind the stage displayed a scrolling list of names, and Kendrick continued to rap from the top deck, while another performance started. Visual shock. The wall of muffled voices back on the main stage. At first, fans were perplexed, but then they realized that these were writers, poets, artists, and people who had been blackballed, censored, ghosted, or forgotten by the industry. Each name had a line next to it, such as MF Doom, too weird. Kendrick whipped. Rhapsody, too conscious. Lupe Fiasco, too critical, too lyrical. And this isn't the Hall of Fame. It's a corridor of shame where brilliant people go unnoticed because they aren't playing the game. Rihanna via Instagram story. Respect KJ, this is what it looks like when they can't control you. Salute King Tyler, the creator. Reddit, AMA post. If Kendrick ever runs for president, I'm his DJ. The most shocking one was when Drake deleted a tweet. Celebrity reactions were live during the shoot. What Kendrick was doing was no longer just a concert. It was a message beamed to the entire industry in real time, and the reactions were instant. After that brutal lyrical segment, Kendrick returned to the main stage, but he did not begin rapping. Instead, he stood at a small podium and gave a raw speech. Enjoy the poetry slam. We're back to stadiums next week. Boom. Fans snapped. That was shady. Drake is feeling pressure now. FR? They're mad because Kendrick isn't playing chess. He's flipping the whole damn board. The reveal. Emotional and unfiltered, they told me not to come to London, to play it safe, to drop a hit, to smile on camera, and to gather a bag, but I'm built for truth. And now that people see me, we're not stopping here. Then he made a shocking announcement. We're launching The Realm, a movement for creators who were buried. He explained that The Realm will be a new platform that combines elements of a tour, label, and community. Kendrick didn't leave us feeling optimistic, though, as he closed with a grim statement after naming The Realm artists. He looked into the camera, lowered his voice, and stated, "They're gone." The audience erupted when he mentioned that 3 musicians were already entering. Little Sims, Pegma Pionic Grant. Come on in. They always do. However, he had already buried the trapdoors this time, and he abruptly vanished. London was a message. The conflict is now worldwide. This wasn't a show. It was a reckoning. Kendrick just declared to the world, "I'm not playing for crowns anymore." Smoke, lights out, gone. Only one line appeared on the screen. The entire castle is mine. Without exaggeration, the internet went crazy within minutes of Kendrick leaving. The O2 Arena stage. Hashtags like #KKendrick and #FALSEG were viral within 10 minutes. Even non-hip-hop celebrities began to comment. Zendaya, that was art. That was war. That was necessary. Kid Cudi, this is what rap needed. I just saw Kendrick do in 2 hours what rappers try to do in entire careers. He didn't perform, he preached. Drake might have sold out shows, but Kendrick just sold out. Soul's gods live in the realm. Drake responded immediately. #London crowned him ex-Twitter timeline. Some artists felt that Kendrick was dividing the culture, while others believed that he was using emotions for his own benefit. One anonymous Ann told rapcave.com, "This realm thing sounds like a cult with beats. Real reset." Ice Cube, "That London performance reminded me of the days when rap meant something. Respect. However, not everyone was celebrating. He is quickly developing enemies." According to a second universal source, the tape from the Drake conversation was leaked. On The Breakfast Club, Charlemagne Thaw God even said, "You're calling out false gods, Kendrick? Cool, but be ready when the gods respond." Yes, attorneys are involved, so Kendrick had better have evidence. The UK hip-hop scene unexpectedly went into full-blown debate mode in the hours after the show, and Stormy Kendrick opened a door that we were too afraid to knock on. Kudos to AJ Tracy, the GOAT who did more to earn Grimes' respect around the world than most local cats. DJ Phantom, the same radio host Kendrick, indirectly dissed. "It was a show. Calm down. Don't turn this into some movement. It's marketing." And suddenly, the UK was at war with itself. Podcasts and media outlets go off overnight. Let that sink in. However, not everyone agreed. Gigs via Instagram Live. "Don't let any yank come in here and act like he revived our scene. We've been real." On the Academic's Twitch stream, he stated, "Bro, Kendrick just changed the society. Drink champs. What did we just see? Everyday hardship. Kendrick versus the industry. Who's next?" Complex described it as the most emotionally sophisticated murder of clout ever captured live. And the Shade Room shared a split screen of Kendrick's stage and Drake's Instagram story with the caption, "Kendrick didn't distract, he dismantled him." Caption, "This place is becoming unpleasant." Fan pages zoomed in on freeze frames of the stage visuals, and one fan discovered a list of coordinates flashing behind Kendrick during False Gods. Someone matched those coordinates to locations in Atlanta and Paris, and Laga sides believe those are the next target cities. The conspiracy theories are now rife. Was the show a coded message? Is Phase 1 a clue about an entire disc album? Is Kendrick planning a global artist coup through the REM? Pitchfork updated their list of the greatest performers within 48 hours after Drake posted a mysterious EG story. He had been building an army of independents for years, and London was declared to be at war. Late that night, Drake posted a black screen with two emojis, an "Oh-yo ow" and a sleeping face. Fans took it as a jab, but Kendrick fans clapped back, saying that he was trying to act nonchalant, but that mic drop shook him. Rolling Stone wrote, "Kendrick's London show might be the pivotal event of this decade." Kendrick is currently ranked number 1. There was a live vote on BBC Radio 1. Are we no longer able to touch Kendrick Lamar? We're not done though, because what fans didn't anticipate was the last unreleased audio that surfaced. A verse Kendrick recorded 2 weeks prior to London, and it names him? Final results. Yes. 82% nitrogen monoxide, 28%. And in the comments, not even they had this kind of moment. Drake had hits. The leak that no one was prepared for. 36 hours after Kendrick's London mic drop. Mysterious audio file called Kes_Cheng_1. Our_final. The MP3 started making the rounds on Twitter, Reddit, and hip-hop Discord servers. At first, people assumed it was a fake fan edit. But when a verified engineer from Top Dog ENT unintentionally liked a tweet that linked to the leak, fans realized it was real. The track 11th hour of the leak begins with a low hum and a woman's voice asking what's left to say when they crown gestures and bury profits. The beat drops, and Kendrick enters with a voice like Venom. He doesn't name anyone at first, but then the verse changes. Boy with the owl chain playing Shakespeare. You just right. Fear. Boom. The internet goes wild. They made cartoons, cried wolf in 6 languages. I still spit truths. He goes on. Toronto love stories with a Houston twist. A disc is too big for cell heartbreaks to manage. The key is undoubtedly speaking. Regarding Drake, in a shocking turn of events, Kendrick names him Cleaner at the end of the song. He addresses the crowd directly, just as he did during the London performance, saying, "Don't idolize me. Don't worship me. I'm not your savior. I'm just the message carrier. They called me GOAT. Nah, I'm the funeral singer, and hip-hop's eulogy isn't over yet." The song ends in silence, followed by the faint sound of a voice. Is this retirement? Is he pulling up the move? The 12th hour is approaching. What? Kendrick's disappearance again. By the following morning, his Instagram was completely erased, with no posts or stories. His profile picture was a black square with the 12th in red. TDE's official account posted a mysterious caption. He said what he needed to say, now we wait. In a private leak from a studio source, industry insiders whispered, Kendrick is pulling something bigger. He's letting the dust settle, then coming for the throne again. Bro, if Kendrick disappears after this, he officially walks out as the undisputed king. He didn't just end Drake. Name one other rapper doing that. The theories continued to spiral out of control. Her group chats and comments explode. Fans are panicking, waiting and praying because, if that's true, Kendrick isn't finished. He's just getting started. Cliffhanger. What's next in London? He said, Phase 1. Now we have a track called 11th Hour, and his Instagram just posted. 12th, everything feels connected. And everyone is wondering what the 12th hour is, and if it's the ND or a new beginning. All of this is because Kendrick made it clear. Crowns fade. Thrones rot, but the truth never dies. We just saw something that doesn't happen twice in a generation. Kendrick Lamar didn't just perform. He made a statement that broke down the barriers of hip-hop, art, and resistance. But the question is, was this the end of the world or the beginning of something new? Do you think Kendrick is actually leaving? Or is he laying the groundwork for something even more ambitious in the background? Will Drake reply with a diss of his own? Or did Kendrick already bury him with subtlety and silence? Is Kendrick officially untouchable in hip-hop history? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We're interested in hearing. From day ones, Kendrick, loyalists, Drake defenders, and all other fans. Do you think Kendrick will retire, release a surprise album, or do something different? If you were shivering during that O2 Arena moment, like this video? Subscribe for more shocking updates, insider leaks, and breaking hip-hop drama before anyone else does. Don't forget to hit the notification bell because Phase 2 could come at any time. Stay woke, stay prepared, and stay dangerous until the 12th hour arrives. I promise that we will be here to break it all down when it does. Out.